Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland, and please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. Today is Sunday the 18th of May 2025. It is 17:26 o'clock, and I'm still 54 years old. I'm still going bald. What else? It's a little bit of sound outside, but that's okay. Well, I don't really care. I don't think the microphone picks it up too much when it's in the garden. So, yeah, it's not too bad. I'm a bit tired today. A bit tired. I was up very early this morning, like at 4 o'clock, and editing the very, very long Q&A Friday from yesterday. I recorded it yesterday, which was Saturday, but I'm just a little bit late doing stuff, and a lot of editing, a lot of it just took about an hour, I think, to do that, and then the processing. The recording still ended up being, let me just check, still ended up being 2.5 hours, I think. Let me have a look. Q&A Friday, Let Me Bore You to Sleep, number 1354, 16th of May 2025. I still put the correct date for the Friday, even though technically it wasn't done until the 17th. But hey, duration 2 hours 30 minutes and 29 seconds. That's a long time. It's a long recording. So I hope I managed to answer the questions. There was a lot of questions, to be fair. I think there was like 13 questions or something. Let me grab a quick look. Let me have a look. A little look. All ready to go to bed. Q&A Friday. No, there wasn't 13. I think there was 9. 9 questions. So I did try and answer them. It was. I'm not complaining about how many questions there were, because I wonder if Vinny's going to bark. Can you hear that dog? There was a time when that dog never barked. I think it's before they moved in, actually. They hardly ever bark. Now it's constantly being set off quite regularly. Don't quite know why. Maybe he's just happy. Yeah. So I've been working on my website all day today. So what I've been doing is I'm tired. So I've been working through all the different. So I've been working on four, 3. I wonder what the other one is then. That's strange. So working on podcast. What is podcasts? Playlists. Okay, playlists. Ah, okay. So I've been working on Let Me Bore You to Sleep, Deep Sleep Whisper, Hypnosis, Relax and Sleep Hypnosis Daily, and Relaxation for Stress and Panic Attacks. Those 4 podcasts I've been working on to put together playlists. Now, I did have playlists and I deleted them because I deleted them. But now I've been redoing it, but I've been, it's all different structure and it's much neater, much easier to find stuff on the website. Especially if you're on a mobile phone, it's almost, well, it's not really any different, but it's very tidy and it's all images that you can click on. So it's very, I just think it's quite easy to maneuver. At the moment, I've only got one podcast, as in Let Me Bore You to Sleep without music, 1 to 50. That's the only one I've got actually connected so far. But I'm in the process of uploading. Well, I've uploaded all the recordings to each podcast. So I'll tell you how many I've got as far as playlists go. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Yeah, so there's 50 podcasts, no music, in groups of 50 altogether. So there's, between the 4 different podcasts. Now, I'm going through them, sort of 1 to 50, 51 to 100 and that. So I've managed to do 701 to 750 Let Me Bore You to Sleep without music, actually published the recordings. They've all been uploaded, but now I'm publishing them in the right order. And then I need to put the image onto each one as well, which numbers them. So what I'm going to do today, well, maybe not just today and tomorrow, because, it's 5:30, nearly said 7:30, so it's 5:30, I'm kind of, I've been spending, the thing is, did I say only listen when you can safely close your eyes, because this is being really boring. The thing is, I can only do it for so long before I have to have a break, because it's tedious. It's really, really, it drains me a little bit doing it. I'm alright. I'm halfway through the Let Me Bore You to Sleep. And then the daily ones, that won't take long because there's not many of them. It's only 250. So it's 51, 52, 53. So it's 6. Anxiety, stress, that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's probably 10 of the deep sleep whisper ones. So it's fairly, by the end of tomorrow they will all be completed, and then I will start numbering them. Or what I might do is just start numbering the Let Me Bore You to Sleep and then work on the next one after that. Just get them out of the way, and then I'll connect them to the website. And when I've done all them, which will take me till Christmas, I don't know, it'll take me a few days. Probably by Wednesday, I should have it all done. Like all those 4 podcasts, all the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, or all the ones without music on the different 4 podcasts. With the does this make sense? It makes sense to me because I'm doing it, but I don't know if visually. If you look at my website, I think you'll get more of an idea of what I mean. So, if you go to the website, click on playlists, which is in the menu, and at the moment there's 4 podcasts. There's a little logo with playlists at the top. Also on your phone as well, which I think is pretty good. So I've had to readjust everything to make it to work. So jasonnewland.com. So click on the right hand top corner. There's like 1, 2, 3 lines, and that's the menu. I go down, click on playlists. So it's got a banner playlist and 1, 2, 3, 4 different podcasts with playlists on them as well. So Let Me Bore You to Sleep, for example. Again, playlists at the top, and it gives you an option. So you got without music, with music, 5 hours without music, 5 hours with music, 10 hours without music, 10 hours with music. At the moment, I'm just working on the ones without music. So click on that one, and then it gives you more options. 1 to 50, 50 to 100, all the way down to 1,351 to 1,400. And at the moment, I've only got 1 uploaded. So it comes up, and then you've got that actual podcast where you can stream or download. And also, if I go back to it, so you click on it, and each podcast has got its number as well on the actual image. So although it's got 50, you can see 50. So sometimes it's just a little bit easier. If you're looking for something, you can just see the number in yellow. It's a little bit just easier to find. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it actually. I'm not sure why I squeaked when I said pleased, but I'm quite pleased, yes. I don't know how long it's going to take before I'm just looking at how many recordings there are on each podcast. For example, Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. Yeah, I suppose it's a weird noise, isn't it? I suppose it's my little oink oink sound. I suppose even though there's only 34 Let Me Bore Your Pain Away recordings, there's a lot now. I don't know about all of them, but the most recent ones have been, 6 different versions from the 10th onwards. So the first 9 were just on their own without any music or anything, but the other 10, from 10 onwards to all the way up to 34, I've had 6 different recordings. So there's actually 159 episodes on that podcast. So what I will do is split it into playlists, without music, with music, and you click on which one you want. Without music, no. Oh no, it'll be without music, 5 hours, 10 hours, whatever. I just realised I could have probably done it a little bit easier. Now I'm thinking about it. Playlists without music. Then I could have given you 5 hours, 10 hours. That's just more. Ultimately, it's more clicks you need to have, really, I think. It might have been easier, but it's got with music, without music, 5 hours, 10 hours. I mean, it's a struggle for me to see the actual images because my eyesight's not great for phones. Maybe it would have been easier if I'd have just done with music, without music, like in bigger things, and then with music, 5 hours, 10 hours. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it as it is for now. If I just put in the amount of hours I put into doing this over the last week or so, I don't really want to kind of redo everything. But now I'm thinking perhaps I should redo everything. Oh, I'm not sure. I had a weird experience. I'm going to talk about Vinny's bum. But it's if you're a dog owner, if you have a doggy, if you're a dog parent, you'll know what I'm talking about anyway. So it's not really that weird, but it was. So Vinny loves eating grass. Anyway, he went to the toilet, his second poo of the day. This was about an hour ago. So he has his poo, and then the last bit is just, it goes to run off, but it's still kind of hanging out. And he couldn't get it off, so I kind of just wait there. So I go to get it off, because I got the bag, and it's not the first time it's happened, but this was different because this, it was a long piece of grass came out of his bum, and it was, I say long, but it was probably a good 5-6 inches of grass, and it was weird because I couldn't close the bag. I had to use a different bag to pick up his original poo and just carefully manoeuvre them into the bin. I've never known that before. I've known him to, sometimes get a little bit stuck. Because it's limited, isn't he? What can he do? But the thing I liked about it, which is, it's going to sound weird. Okay, what did you like about his poo getting stuck? Okay, let me just give me a moment. We didn't sit, but he stood there and he let me help him. That's what I like about it, because he realised we seemed to realise he needed my help, and he let me help him, because quite often he wouldn't sort of do that. So, I quite like that. Quite like the fact that he waited for me to help him, and I said, wait there, and he listened. Not only that, but while I was trying to pick up the other poo, the lead fell out of my hand, because he darted off, you see. So he pulled it out of my hand, and he could have run. He could have run off. But he didn't. He did exactly what I asked him. I said, just stay there. And so it was really good. It's a good boy. Very good boy. So I'm pleased about that. Don't get to call him a good boy very often. I mean, he is a good boy, but he's also... He doesn't listen to me. He's off his wet food at the moment. Now he's not off food, so there's nothing wrong with him. He's fine, because he's eating dry food now, and mainly when we go out. I also put some at the end of the bed. I don't know why I stuttered then. At the end of the bed. Sometimes I stutter. I'm kind of one of those weird stutters where I don't stutter necessarily over particular words, I don't think. But sometimes I just stutter, and sometimes it's when I'm talking to people. It's like just, I don't know. It's almost like I don't know what it is, but it's not like a full-on stutter. I don't know. Sometimes I guess my tongue struggles with to wrap itself around some words, maybe, or some sentences. So I'm too self-conscious. I think that's what it is. That's one of the problems, I think, is very self-conscious about not just how I look, but how I sound, how I walk, the things that I say, how am I being maybe not interpreted, but how am I being perceived by the other person in a some kind of communicational interaction when I'm out. And this is generally, I mean, pretty much 99% is just other dog walkers that I have conversations with. There's a couple of neighbours that I chat to as well. But generally it's just, yeah, I think I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 neighbours like in this whole area that I actually chat to that's not related to dog walking. There used to be more, but a lot of people have moved on. Yeah. Last night I did the recording, so I made the recording and I was finished by, I think it was about 7:30. Was it 7:30 or was it 5:30, 6:30? I don't know. Anyway, I finished it. Well, I must have finished it, otherwise I wouldn't be able to upload it. I'm pretty sure I started at like 3 and I ended up finishing about 6. Again, I'd have to listen back because I probably mentioned the time at the time of doing it. But last night there was some boxing on. It was Fisher versus Dave Allen. Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen, and it was a rematch. It's really good. The thing is, I've come to realise that I might not be the boxing fan that I thought I was. And I'll tell you why. If I'm not interested in the boxer, I find it hard to get any kind of interest for the fight. I mean, maybe it's always been the case, but I don't think it was in the past. I think I was just happy to watch boxing. Now, maybe it's because I do watch on YouTube a fair bit of, boxing interviews, and there's a bit more to find out about the boxers, like their personality, what they've said, the back and forth between their future opponent, the build up and all that. I get to see more of that than I ever used to before. So I've just got my favourite boxers, and it's not just world champions and boxers that are like elite. I've just got some of my favourite boxers that I just like to watch, and Dave Allen's one of those boxers who himself doesn't class himself as being world level. He said he's good at domestic. That's what he said last night. But I don't know. I think he's a huge amount of talent. I think Dave Allen may go on to be kind of like a Chisora, because Chisora's lost loads of times, but he fills out a venue every time, no matter who he's fighting. When the thing is, he fights good fighters. He doesn't have low-level fights. He's fought so many people, because he's now 40. How old is he? He's 41 now, so he's getting old. Maybe not as old as me, but so even in his 5th fight, he fought Sam Sexton, who was a force to be reckoned with at the time, and that was 2008. So he's been a professional. This is Chisora, been a professional since 2007. So, 18 years, man. And he fought Sam Sexton. He fought Danny Williams, who knocked out Mike Tyson, and also fought for the world championship against Klitschko. This is 2010. So Danny Williams wasn't any longer at his best. He wasn't, he wasn't at, because I think he knocked out Tyson in 2004, when Mike Tyson wasn't at his best either. But I've got a lot of respect for Danny Williams, because one of the things, apart from the fact that anyone that knocks out Mike Tyson, regardless of what part of his career he was in, it's an accomplishment, especially as he was on his way to fight for the world title again. This is Mike Tyson. So, and Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson only lost to world-class fighters, apart from in his last fight. I'm not talking about to Jake Paul, I'm talking about his last professional, like when he was, I suppose that was a professional fight, but yeah, the last fight he had when he retired, he got knocked out, or he got I think he got stopped, or he couldn't go on. But he was at the end of his, that was, whether, I don't know what the reasons for that was. And that bloke didn't really go on to, I don't know why, didn't go on to any kind of big achievements, which you'd think knocking out Mike Tyson would have led him to have one heck of a career. But so I'm just going to have a look at Danny Williams. So Danny Williams, I was a big fan of Danny Williams. I followed him. I probably, just going to look, when did I really discover him? Probably about 99, because he lost to Julius Francis, and Julius Francis was a big name. He fought for the world title against Lennox Lewis, if I remember rightly. I think he might have also fought Mike Tyson. Let me have a look. He had a huge amounts of losses at the end of his career, but before that he was kind of, he lost to John Ruiz. This I know I'm kind of moving around a little bit. So John Ruiz, who he lost to in his 7th fight. Okay, this is Danny Williams. John Ruiz went on to win a world title twice. In fact, he did, yeah. His next time he lost was Scott Welch, who was also really good. He was kind of in his kind of prime back then. And that was 95. So he had a couple of losses, then he came back, and he just kind of never quite. I'm supposed to be looking at Danny Williams. What am I looking at? I'm looking at Julius Francis. I'm sorry. Julius Francis. Blimey. So yeah, he fought Danny Williams. Because there was a recent thing where this bloke was causing lots of troubles. It's on YouTube, and it was really causing a lot of problems, like trying to call everyone out and having a fight. I think it was some promotional event, and he was really kind of pushing people around and stuff. And he went up and confronted one of the security, and the security punched him with a left and knocked him clean out. And that was Julius Francis, the former European heavyweight champion. So it just shows you. I mean, you think about it. What is he now? He's got to be in he's 60. So he was like 59 years old then. Just shows you that, you know, he hasn't lost that power. But he lost to quite a few people. But he also won, and I think he kind of became like a bit of a gatekeeper for a while. And most of his losses were on points. Anyway, Danny Williams, that's who I wanted to talk about. Danny Williams. Danny Williams, he fought Mike Tyson. It's 2003 or 2004. I think it was 2004. I do remember because I was at my nan's and I was quite excited because there was the build-up to Danny Williams fighting Vitaly Klitschko. I've got it in front of me, by the way. But I remember it was 2004 because I just remember that year. 2004 was quite a big year for me. It was a big year for him as well because he knocked out Mike Tyson in round 4. One of the things I've really liked about Danny Williams is, apart from the fact that he kept coming back, and he had this fight. This is one of the most spectacular fights, heavyweight fights I've ever seen. Simply because I don't know when it was, but Danny Williams dislocated his shoulder or his elbow. I mean, other than the fact of how much pain he would have been in, he continued. It was one-handed. He literally, his arm was down by its side. He couldn't even hold it up. So he didn't really, you know, and he wasn't even, if I remember rightly, he wasn't even ahead. You know, it wasn't going his way necessarily, but I made that bit up. So what happened, he hurt, yeah, so he couldn't use, I think it was his right hand. So he couldn't use his right hand. And he knew that he didn't have, you know, you can't, there's only so many rounds you can go with just one hand if you're in a boxing match, especially at a, you know, fairly high level. I think it was like European level or something. I'm just trying to find the one where he the elbow. He just it's in there somewhere. Oh, I just want to find it. I can't find. I can't find it. I think it was before his fight with Tyson anyway. Okay. Right, so it was 2000. Danny Williams put together 4 knockouts before fighting Mark Potter for the Commonwealth title. Williams suffered a dislocated right arm, yet bravely fought on with one arm for over 2 rounds before knocking Potter out with a left uppercut. It was spectacular. Honestly, if you're mildly interested, I don't know. Okay, Mark Potter. So Danny Williams. If you just YouTube it, Danny Williams fights with one arm, something like that, and that'll probably come up. It was just, I mean, he had to have 8 months off after surgery and recovery. It just showed there's something special if someone can do that. It's phenomenal. To just, I don't know, it's just something to watch it. It was wow. That was one of the reasons that I really, really liked Danny Williams. And also, he'd take on anyone. Never wasn't bothered. He'd always, but he did fight on way too long. Not quite sure. But I think he's only 50. He's younger than me. How annoying is that? How can you be younger than me? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it does. Because I was 34. Of course you'd be 34, so he'd be 20. He's 4 years younger. No, 3 years younger than me. So he'd be 31 when he fought Tyson. So yeah, blimey. I forget how old I am sometimes. Do you ever do that and think like, surely they're older than me? But I remember watching them when I was a kid. Yeah, but you weren't a kid though, were you? Yeah, I was a kid. You were 45. Oh. Yeah, I just remember being at my nan's house and just, I can't remember when he fought Tyson. I think it was in the summer. I might be wrong. Let's have a look. 2004. The fact that he fought on till 2023, which is 2 years ago, which means he was 49. He was 49 years old when he was still fighting. And he wasn't having big fights, and he was fighting in Eastern Europe as well. So I hope he got paid well. I just do. I did watch some of them fights actually. It was, but yeah, it's a shame because he should have got paid huge amounts of money. I mean, anyone fighting Mike Tyson should be getting paid a lot of money, even 2004, and then to fight for the world title. Just going back to 2004. So he fought Mike Tyson July. Yeah, I thought it was summer. July 2004. But then I watched him. Oh, Vitaly Klitschko's December. That's the bit I remember because the build-up, he kept eating these cakes. Kipling cakes, and I think he was joking about he wanted to get sponsored by Kipling fairy cakes or whatever they're called, sponge cakes, and he was just lovely. I liked him. I don't know how I got talking about. Where did I get talking about Danny Williams? So if I go back to 2004, so go to 2004, Mike Tyson. But obviously, apart from the recent event with Jake Paul, so Mike Tyson, oh wow. Oh, maybe Mike Tyson wasn't. I don't know. He fought Danny Williams July 2004, got knocked out. Kevin McBride retired. So I remember that. And then Jake Paul recently, which was when he was 58 years old. That's in November last year. So there was nearly 19 years, over 19 years between his last fight and fighting Jake Paul. The thing is, before he lost to Danny Williams, you know, he'd only lost to Mike Tyson, only lost to big names in the heavyweight boxing world. I mean, Buster Douglas is a big name because he beat Mike Tyson, to be fair. But Buster Douglas was also a former contender for the world title, and he also held all the belts for a little bit, didn't he? From July 1989 to February 1990. No, from February 1990 to whenever he fought Evander Holyfield. So, other than that, Tyson lost to Evander Holyfield twice, Lennox Lewis. So they were all for world title fights. So only time he lost fights until he fought Danny Williams was in world heavyweight title fights. One was defending his world heavyweight title fight, and the second one was, I think he was fighting for, he lost his WBA heavyweight title fight to Evander Holyfield, which is weird because he did actually have two heavyweight title fights. He won because he fought Frank Bruno in 1996, won the WBC world title, and then he fought Bruce Seldon, won the WBA heavyweight title. So technically, he held the heavyweight title 3 times. Or, if you want to look at it in another way, he was unified. So he had the WBA, he held the WBA twice, the WBC twice, and the IBF once. Mike Tyson did. Francis Botha, that was a fight that Tyson had, and it was very sluggish. And it was quite weird because the commentators, I've seen it a few times, the commentators were a little bit rubbish in Mike Tyson. You know, maybe he's past his best, and it had been 2 years since he'd been disqualified against Evander Holyfield, which was 97, so 99 he'd kind of making his comeback, I guess. And he basically, you know, I think he's probably a little bit out of shape, just, you know, being at a bit of ring rust. And the commentators were saying, oh, maybe Mike Tyson's gone, maybe that's it, maybe that's done for him. And literally, just as they said it, Tyson threw a right cross, and it just knocked Francois Botha clean out. Now, this is someone that he won the IBF heavyweight title, but was later stripped after failing a drug test. So he is a former world heavyweight champion. When he fought, I'm trying to think. So he won all his Franz Botha. He won all his fights, won the IBF heavyweight title, then got stripped against Axel Skulch in 95. Then in 96, he fought Michael Moorer for the world title, but got knocked out. Then he had 4 fights, won them, and then he fought Mike Tyson and got knocked out in round 5. Then he fought for the world title again against Lennox Lewis and got knocked out in round 2. Then he fought for the world title again against Vladimir Klitschko in 2002. Got knocked out in round 8. Then he fought Evander Holyfield, but it was for the WBF, so the Federation Heavyweight title, which is not generally recognised in... I mean, it's recognised by the organisation themselves. It's recognised by people who win it. But it's not... There's only really... I mean, really, some people like... There's a WBA, WBC, IBF. They're the ones that have been around for long time. Then the WBO came around in the late 80s. And that was classed as not a real world championship. And people that were heavyweight champion at WBO weren't really classed as like real heavyweight champions. But then in the early 90s, some of the biggest stars held the WBO world title. For example, Chris Eubank, Nigel Benn, they went to war over that. And it's some of the really big names that legitimised that title. It still took a while, really, before it became... I don't want to recognise, but before it became kind of really... It still, to me, doesn't feel equal to the IBF or the WBO or the WBA or the WBC or WBA. So the WBA is the World Boxing Authority, I think. WBC is the World Boxing Confederation? Corporation? Confederation? WBC, you've got IBF, which is the International Boxing Federation. And then you've got the WBO, which is the World Boxing Organisation. I think. I might have made that up. Not really sure what I was talking about here. Yeah. Just, it's weird because for a long time, well, it seemed quite a long time that it's only really the WBA, WBC and IBF that was recognised, that really meant anything, and the WBO was almost like the IBO is now. It was recognised, but it wasn't, The IBO now is a few quite big names have got the IBO, but no one really, I don't know, it's just, we don't need any more. But then I think back to the old days when there was just one world title per weight, and there was only a lot less weights. The problem with that is people had to wait. I said the word wait quite a lot. Wait. Sometimes it'd take like 30 fights to even get a chance at the world title. And if they didn't win, they'd go back to the back of the queue and maybe have to wait another 4 or 5 years. Now, because there's so many different weights, a contender can get a chance at a world title within maybe 20 fights. And if they don't pass that, they may get a chance at another world title in a year or so. Or maybe they just go up a few pounds and fight for a world title at a different weight, because there's just a few pounds between weights. Apparently that makes a big difference. I'm not quite sure how, but it does. I mean, I'm being assured by trainers online. I haven't phoned them up. Hello, are you Tyson Fury's trainer? Yeah, can I have a little chat, please? Just want to know about this weight thing. To be fair, he wouldn't say anything, like, he's a heavyweight, he doesn't have to worry about weight. think they use enemas. Honestly, I think there's kind of, they were like not saying it but also saying it, so like when someone has to lose weight and they've only got 2 hours to lose a few pounds. And how does someone put on a stone, 14 pounds? How do they put on 14 pounds in overnight? So they'll weigh themselves the night before or the afternoon before, and then the following night they're 14 pounds heavier. I wouldn't even know how. I suppose I'd have to really drain my weight 14 pounds down to then get back to what my normal weight is. I suppose that's what it is, isn't it? So they go in a lot heavier than the weight they're actually in, which makes you wonder why even have the weights. Why have it? Why have if someone's 7 stone or 8 stone and that's the weight, as long as they're 8 stone the day before, but they're going at 9.5 stone the next day, it's fine. It doesn't make sense, does it? But yeah, other than that, I've just been working on a website. That's not really a huge amount going on. I'm glad, I feel, I'm pleased for how it's going. I know there's certain aspects of building websites and putting stuff together that I do kind of enjoy. But there's also other bits that are a little bit samey, a little bit repetitive. And when it comes to certain aspects, like what I was saying about, publishing and then doing that stuff, it was just like, oh, okay. There's a lot of counting. Not that I can't count, but if I miss one out, it just messes the organisation of it, the order. And I'll be glad when it's done. But then what do I do? Because that was loud, wasn't it? What do I? The ones without music, 5 and 10 hours. I've only been doing the 5 and 10 hours without music for 6 months, maybe a bit longer, maybe a year. So there's a lot of recordings that I don't have 5 and 10 hour versions without music. For at least 1,000 of the Let Me Boy to Sleep, it was just the standard recording, no music, no nothing. Just there wasn't any different versions. So I'm kind of thinking, what do I do? Do I just leave those alone and just focus on the ones that I have got? So start off 1001 to 1050 with 5 hours without music, 10 hours without music. It's kind of like that. Or do I start putting together some of the older recordings and add background music and add make longer versions and then upload them? Because that feels more like a complete way to do it, but also will take the rest of the year to do it. At least. Was it May, June, July, August, September, October, November? Yeah. I'd be surprised if I could do it in 7 months to get all those old back recordings, the archives recordings. Because you think about it, it's what? At least 2,000 recordings just on their own. There's more than 2,000 recordings, in fact, just on their own, without any background music, without any long versions. So that's, if I just do the 1,000, for example, that Let Me Bore You to Sleep, that's 5,000 new recordings I have to produce. I mean, you know, I'll still be working on the original recording, but that's a lot of processing, a lot of uploading, a lot of time. So I'll just see what happens. My question is this: why is, that's very strange, there is water on my desk, which isn't good because right near my electrical equipment. In fact, I'm going to unplug that because I don't want that. But where does the water come from? That's very strange. It's all underneath my iPad. Now, that's also plugged into the electric, so I'll unplug that. There's a pile. I'm trying to smell it to see what it is. That is strange. I'll tell you why it's strange. I do not put cups of tea on the table, on my desk rather, because there's all the electric equipment. I do have a water bottle. It's not leaking. That's really going to bug me. I mean, if it's something that melted. But I don't have any ice lollies. I don't have anything. There's nothing. What could be on the desk? I'm going to move everything out of the way. I mean, that could have ruined my stuff. I mean, it could. Yeah, it's not a good thing. Where did the water come from? I'll make sure there's nothing underneath the laptop. No, there isn't. I know I've got the windows open. I mean, if it rained and stuff, but that'd be all over the equipment, wouldn't it? Wouldn't just be underneath the iPad. My stomach's churning. That's nice. I love it when it does that. It makes me feel so fruity. I don't understand. It's like something's melted. Unless I had something inside here that's melted. Nope. Put that in the bin. I'm smelling. It's a familiar smell. Maybe it's tea. Maybe I did have I know I just said I don't ever put my cup of tea on there. I might have put a cup of tea on there. That's very strange. I am not impressed with that, if I'm honest with you. You know, I don't like being honest, and I'm a bit surprised in myself because I like to think that I'm relatively careful with stuff like that when it comes to water and electrical equipment. It just generally, I always kind of have been. And it's not just, I mean, of course, it's, you know, there's the danger in that, but also it could ruin the equipment. It's at times like this that I probably question myself, like why have I left the iPad still resting in it? I've got a cover on the iPad, so it's just like, where else can I put this thing? I can't put it on the floor. Oh, okay. What I'll do is I'll put it Oh, there's nowhere for me to put it. Blimey. Okay, I'll put a pad on there and just balance it. Okay. That's very, very weird. Genuinely, I'm surprised at that. Unless there's a leak from the ceiling. But why would there be a leak from the ceiling? Right. This looks almost like something's melted. Rather than... I don't know. It's brown. Don't worry, it's not like that one time that I found a Malteser on the carpet and... Yeah. Anyway, it turned out not to be a Malteser. It was one of Andre's... Anyway, let's not focus on that. This is weird. Very strange. Where on earth would that water come from? That's going to bug me. I mean, if it was an ice lolly, but I wouldn't put an ice lolly on my desk. Well, I've got two desks next to each other, but I wouldn't put an ice lolly on my desks because the TV's on the other side of the desks, and the two desks are together, and all the equipment's on here. So these over the other side on the left, there's like two big, not quite big, but they're gaming desks. I'm not a gamer, but it seemed like a good kind of size to have. So there's a recording equipment over the other side. There's a microphone in my face here. In front of me directly is, and this is all in front of the TV, which is behind, well, it's in front of me, but behind this stuff. The laptop's in front of me, the iPad's to the right. So, because I use both, and then the phone's on the right hand side, but luckily that's not resting in any water. But there's no... I use the iPad for editing and for uploading the recordings, and I use the laptop for making images, also for uploading and for processing and stuff like that as well, but the iPad specifically for the editing. It's just I've got software on it. It's just much. It just I've been using it for years, and it just works for me. It works for me. I kind of got a lot of routine that I'm used to now. Now I am. I wasn't before, but I am now. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Have I got any emails? Let's have a look. Ocean Finance, brilliant. No, go away. That's really flummoxed me. I don't know what. That's definitely the next thing I'm going to do is... I must have put something on there, but what would have had... Unless... I mean, maybe one of the bottles of water did have a hole in it. Or maybe the lid. I didn't put the lid on properly. It's possible. Or there's a leak from the ceiling, but there's not. I'm saying there's not, but where would it come from? Because I'm upstairs. There's no one above me other than the pigeons and the owls and the bats and all the various zoo animals that live in the loft. But there's no drip, and I'd have heard a drip. Drip, drip. And I know they don't literally go drip when they go, but I'd have heard it. I'm listening now for it. That's gonna bug me. Okay, there's a few chocolate wrappers. No, really, leave that alone. There's nothing in it anyway, so we can't. My neighbour bought it for me. A chocolate orange bar. Vinny, you're not allowed to touch chocolate. Yeah, there's a few little flakes. I'll keep that away from you. You're not allowed to have chocolate, Vinny. Sorry, mate. I've just chucked it in the bin, but the bin is full. He's off his food, you know. He's not eating the wet food. I put it out, just completely ignoring it. But he's eating dry food, so it's not like he's not eating. I don't know, maybe he's just fed up with the wet food. It's got boring for him. I don't know. It's really hard because I can't ask. Well, I can ask him, but I don't get an answer. Do I? No, you floppy-eared little monkey. You little floppy-eared man. Are you a floppy-eared? Are you a floppy ear? Is your right ear? Yeah, right ear floppy. Is it floppy? It's always been floppied. It has, isn't it? Always been floppy. But right now, both the ears are pricked up because he's listening to me. It looks like a little bat. His face does look like a little bat's face. It does, doesn't it? He looks like a little batty. Are you a vampire? I'm not even joking. His face looks like a bat. It does, doesn't it? Bats are cute. If you look at them, like, you know, when they're not like flying around at night and sucking people's blood and that, they're kind of got cute little faces. Yes, they have. In this country, bats are protected. Did you know that? You might not know that if you're in another country. You might not know that if you're in this country, actually. But I'm going to say the UK, but it might just be England. Bats are protected. So if you find a bat, I don't know, let's say you're looking for Batman and you find his cave or whatever, you are not allowed to do anything. You can't remove the bat cave or the bat. I don't know what they are. Do they have nests or nets or whatever? I don't know. Houses, little bat houses, bat pens. I don't know. But you can't disturb them, apparently. I mean, I've never really had that much contact with bats. I'm not prejudiced. I've just haven't, you know, they haven't kind of been in my life. We've had different lifestyles, I guess. They've got cute little faces, though. Also, what is it? Not eels, not seals. Are they seals? I don't know, but there's this little thing. It was big. It's not little, but I saw it in a river about 2007, and I'm walking back from doing the group relaxation session at the drug rehab place that I volunteered at. So I'm walking back around the back roads, which was it was a longer way, but it was quite nice, less traffic, you know. So I'm going down past this river bit, and I saw this, I don't know what they're called, but I thought it was a dog. Not a seahorse. What are they called? Not a penguin. Maybe it was a seal. A seal? No, seals are massive, aren't they? It's kind of like a seal kind of thing. And I saw this thing moving towards me, and I thought, and there was this face. It just looked like a dog, like a black dog, looking at me. And I thought it was a dog. And for a second I thought, oh, well, probably more than 1 second, in fact. I thought, I hope it's okay. I hope it's not in trouble or anything. And which would be a bit of a problem if it is, because I can't swim. So I'd be no good in that situation. I can swim relatively, but yeah. No, I don't know what I'd do. I just can't. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to really do anything. But it wasn't a dog. It was like a seal or something like that. I'm sure there's another name for it. But you know what happened then? I said hello, and it didn't answer. What he did, he dived. That's when I realised it wasn't a dog. He dived into the water, and I could see either side of both the sides of like where the land was, but also the length. Didn't come back up. I'm not saying never came back up, but not in the time I was watching. So they've got to have some really good lungs. Or can this, maybe they can breathe underwater? I don't know. Perhaps they've got little straws. Do you remember see this in the old movies where they have these little straw things like grass, but they'd get underwater and they'd breathe through these bits of grass that were like straw, like, you know, which probably that's where we came up with straws, isn't it? And they'd breathe through them. And the weird thing about that is, if you were to do that in real life, so let's say if there was someone on the riverbank looking for you and you're hiding from them for whatever, hide and seek, whatever. So you're underneath the water because we're not fish or dolphins or whatever, so we can't breathe underwater. So, and you get one of those big straw things that are like nature, and you're going to breathe through that, so the person on the bank won't see you. The thing is, in order to breathe through it, you'd need to clear the airway, wouldn't you? You need to clear the straw and get rid of all the water from, because you can't, there's no way of doing it unless you drunk it, the water that was in it. So you need to blow the water, and there'd be like water everywhere, and they'd see, wouldn't they? Unless they thought it was a frog. I don't know if frogs blow water out though, do they? I'm thinking of whales, humpback whales, because they blow water, don't they, out of their water hole thing. It's their bum, isn't it? I don't know, that big hole thing. Do sharks, I mean, it might be a weird way that I'm now talking about like shark poo, but is shark poo the same as goldfish poo? And I don't mean size-wise, but are all fish the same? And they have that big long string of, that just someone seems to like hold on for days. Do sharks have the same thing? I don't know, I'm just wondering. Do they lay eggs? Let's wonder where the eggs go. And do they sit on the eggs to keep them warm? See, there's so many things about sharks that people don't know. Or maybe there's so many things about sharks that I don't know. I think I'm going to have a sandwich. Do you ever get that feeling where you think, oh, I think I'll eat. I need to have something to eat. Let's see if I've got any messages. Any messages? Anything? No, nothing. Nothing. Oh, no, I got a message. Oh no, audible. A couple of people reacted to my things, to my... Oh, I didn't even mention my Facebook group, did I? Never mind. Jason Newland's boring group. You can join it, and my YouTube channel, @Jason Newland. they are the grooviest places to visit. They really are. I mean, like, sometimes I go onto my Facebook group and I'm bowled over with how excited I am when I get there. It's... If you ever join, you'll realise it's almost like going on holiday. Every time you go there, it's like being on a holiday in your favourite place. Or maybe it's nothing like that. So, other than that, so took him out. It was nice. It's really weird. I wore my shirt. I've got this shirt. You might want to check it out on YouTube. There's a video of me. There's a blue shirt with like red. It's like a bowling shirt. Not as in cricket, but bowling, like a bowling alley kind of shirt. I thought it was all right. So I went out this afternoon with that on. And my neighbour's daughter, who's 9 years old, started laughing at me. Laughing. What are you wearing? What are you wearing that for? I said, what do you mean? He said, what are you wearing that for? I said, what, the clogs? No. The snorkel? No. What? The shepherd's stick? No. The shirt. What's wrong with the shirt? It's silly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, really, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I'm not dressing for other people, I'm dressing for me. And I thought it was quite a nice shirt. I got it off Amazon a few months back, specifically for making videos with, thinking that I would look high class and top dollar, you know. So I thought it was worth the £7.45 investment. But apparently, I don't look quite as sophisticated as I thought I did. Never mind. I wonder if other people are thinking that. Like, oh, what's he wearing? Maybe other people are just not saying it. Mind you, I did get a compliment from one of my neighbours, a lady who lives downstairs. She said, oh, you look like you lost weight. I said, oh, thank you. She said, yeah, you were so fat before. Like, is it still a compliment after that? Someone says, oh, looks like you lost weight. God, you were so fat. Is it still a compliment? That's the question. It's like, oh, your hair looks so much better now. It was disgusting before. I used to look at it, I used to run the other way. I couldn't even look at it. I used to want to tear my eyes out. Like, it kind of turns from a compliment to something else, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm glad you trimmed your beard. I was going to leave the country. I couldn't stand being in the same country as you with that beard the way it was, all scraggly and grey. Oh, it's like, okay, so you think the beard looks better now? Yeah. Should I focus on that part or all the stuff you said afterwards? I don't know. Actually, had someone said that to me. Well, maybe not quite like that, but a lady in the petrol station. I trimmed my beard. She said, oh, I'm so glad you got rid of that thing. I said, what? She said, oh, that was awful. If I see you coming, I'd have to hide in the office, because it's really hard to serve you without laughing at you. Literally, without poking, like pointing and laughing. It was so... it's like... Okay, she didn't actually say all that, but she did say, like, oh, it was awful. Okay. What's worse is when I have someone say, oh, you look so much better without a beard, and the only reason I haven't got a beard is because I accidentally slipped while I was kind of trimming it, you know, the sideburns kind of part, trying to trim, and it's just gone. So I've had to get rid of the whole thing. I look so much better without that beard. That beard was horrible. When I've had a beard for 20 years and I was going to continue to have a beard, just let it grow back again. It was a temporary thing. Okay, for the last 20 years you thought I looked awful. Thanks, Dad. Brilliant. My dad's got a beard now. He looks lovely with a beard. He had a beard when I first met him, when I was about 7, and he was a big man with a big beard, and he was cuddly, like a big, giant, cuddly bear, and I loved his beard. Absolutely loved his beard. What was weird though, he came down, so this is like probably 1978, he came down from upstairs, and me and my two brothers were looking at him like, there's something strange. It's like, what's you done? What's different about you, Dad? He said, is it the dress? I said, no, not the dress. Roller skates? No, not the roller skates. Curlers in my hair? No, not the curlers in your hair. The multiple piercings in my nose? No, not that. It was like, just like, there's something different. Can't believe he did the same thing twice. But anyway, yeah, I don't know, can't figure out what it is. And he said, I've shaved my beard off, because that's how he talks. Shaved your beard. And we rolled around laughing at him, because first of all, he looked silly without a beard, because I'd never seen him without a beard before. So if you've never seen anyone without a beard, they look silly if you're a kid, because it's just not silly in a bad way, just a kind of like, that's not right. You're supposed to always look the same forever and ever. And rolled around laughing. Genuinely didn't notice it, didn't realise he'd shaved, couldn't figure out what was wrong. Not what was wrong, but what he'd done. There was something different, but didn't know what it was. I mean, my older brothers might have realised what it was, and they were just playing along to fool me. Because my oldest brother was like 25 at the time, so he wasn't 25. He was 4 years older than me. So he was like 11, 12. So he probably did notice it. Because 8 and 12 is a lot of... 8, 9, 10... Yes, 4 years, isn't it? There's quite a bit of difference between an 8 and a 12-year-old. So he may have noticed it. Plus he was taller, so he had a better look. I was quite short. I was very little. I was 8, but I probably looked about 6. Probably the size of a 6-year-old when I was 8. My oldest brother was tall. He was as tall as my dad when he was at school. Not as tall as my dad was when he was at school, but as tall as my dad. When my brother was at school, he was as tall as my dad, if not taller. And he ended up, I think, about 6'4", 6'5". My other brother was about 6, 6'1", the other older one. And I'm 5'8", maybe 5'9", in the past. They did put down 5'9" at the doctors last time they measured me. Or that's what they had down for the previous time. So I don't know. I've been down for 5'8" my whole adult life. And someone say, what's in an inch? A lot. Don't ever demean an inch. Oh. But yeah, that's it really. Gonna get something to eat. Vinny is hassling me by staring at me. He's sitting at the door, staring at me. And I don't quite know why, or what his intention is, what he's wanting. I don't know. I'll open the door to see where he goes. He might just want to go in the bedroom, and I'm sure if he could, he'd sleep on the bed all day. but I try and keep him out of the bedroom because he's got a tendency of barking at things, although he does like to go onto the windowsill there and look out. Anyway, I'm going to go. I should be back tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to upload this tonight or first thing in the morning. Probably first thing in the morning, because I think I've probably had enough of looking at a computer screen for one day. So I'm probably going to come back early in the morning when I wake up, work on editing this recording. Shouldn't be too much editing because I haven't had a huge amount of interruptions. It's only been a couple of interruptions, so that's good. And then I will make it available, probably be available by about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And usually on any day I'm usually in bed by 10, and it's 7 o'clock now, 8, 9, so it's 3 hours. So what I'm going to do is get something to eat, then head to bed about 9, half 9, maybe 10. See, I mean, I might edit this today. I might edit it tonight before I go to bed. It's possible. It's not unheard of. It's not completely out of the realm of happening, I think. I don't know if that's a very good grammatical, conversational, contextual thing. So I'm going to go, and I need to wipe this desk. I thought I'd be specific. I need to go because I need to wipe. I need to wipe the desk. I need to be specific. Very strange. I don't understand where that wet dampness came from. That's very, very unusual. I mean, no one else has been up here. No one. I don't think so. My neighbour downstairs was up here. Unless when I was talking to her, I knocked something over without realising it. But I don't think so. I don't know. So I'm going to go. I did some weights earlier, so my whole skeletal system is aching. Oh, muscles. So I weighed myself today, so I'm around 95 kilos. And instead of being 100 or 102 kilos. So 95, I might get down to 90, but I think 95 is probably going to be roughly kind of what I'm going to be at. I think this coming week I'm going to start to look at maybe doing some sit-ups and some press-ups, and maybe extending the exercise a little bit more every day to see if I can make my body a little bit more summer friendly, bit more t-shirty, you know. I mean, I can wear a t-shirt if the t-shirt is loose, but then I don't know if that really helps to make me look slimmer, because it might just make me look big, you know. There's that, yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure, because if I had a really slim waist and I wore a big t-shirt, so from my chest you still wouldn't see that I was slim unless I wore a slim t-shirt. So my chest would kind of push it down, so it would look like I still had, well, like what I got now, a belly. Although I am slim-ish, I think. think I am. I don't know. I don't know. This is another week. I mean, I think the week starts on Monday, but I think apparently, according to the calendar, it starts on a Sunday. But to me, it's Monday. That's the beginning of the week. Sunday's the last day of the week. This is the 18th day. Monday's the 19th. Then you've got Tuesday's the 20th. Wednesday's the 21st. Thursday's the 22nd. Friday's the 23rd. 24th is Saturday. And 25th is Sunday. And then you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So in 2 weeks' time, it is the 1st of June. In exactly 2 weeks' time. Another month. Which means January, February, March, April, May. That means 5 months of the year would have gone by, nearly at the half mark. Wow. So on that super exciting moment, I'm going to say goodbye. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.